Hey everyone, it's been a while but we're finally back for another Excel tutorial. In this video I'm gonna show you something cool and I haven't really seen any YouTube video teaching this before. The chart that you see right here allows you to plot a grid to tell you which data points are above target or below target. Let me demonstrate this. So here we can see the sales for New York in 3Q20 is actually below the target of 7,000. As represented by the red marker in this table. However, if we change it to something above the target, we can see that the chart automatically responds by making it into a green marker. There are a lot of potential uses for this kind of chart, so I'm excited to give you this step-by-step tutorial. First, we will need to set up our data like this. One table containing our main data, then two conditional tables. For the hit target table, the formula goes like this. So if the value, let me set up a conditional. If the value is greater than or equal to the target, then we're going to take the order value. So for New York branch, it's going to be number 4 because it's the highest row in our chart. And of course, we should lock the column by pressing F4 3 times. This makes it easier for us to drag the formula later on. And actually, we should also do it to F4. We should column lock it by pressing F4 3 times. And then what we're going to do, if it's false, meaning if it doesn't hit the target, we're going to use an error simulator here. So the function for that is error type, and we choose number 7, meaning we want to display an A if it doesn't hit the target. So I'm going to press enter. As we can see, since obviously the value is below the target of 7,000, it displayed an A. And to fill the table, all we have to do is to drag this along by going to the bottom right corner of the green square and just dragging the values. Next, we're going to do something similar with the missed target table. Again, we begin with a conditional. So we're going to take this value again, and if it's less than the target, meaning it missed, less than the target, 7,000, and then I'm going to column lock this again by pressing F4 3 times. Then it should display the order. Then let me column lock this. And similar to the hit target process, we're going to simulate an error type of 7, meaning we want to display an A if it doesn't satisfy the condition. And again, I'm just going to drag this across the table. Okay, now that we have all the tables we need, we can go ahead and build the chart. The first thing we should do is to highlight the hit target table, but of course excluding the order column. Then we go to insert and select any line chart because it doesn't really matter for now. But I guess I'm just going to stick with line with markers. After that, in the chart design tab, let's click select data. And here we can actually see our rows for the hit target table. But what I'm going to do now is to add rows for the missed target table. For the series name, I just went ahead and clicked New York branch M. I put M in here so that we can distinguish between the hit target and missed target rows. And for the series values, we can highlight these values. And I'm just going to repeat the process for the rest of the rows, adding them one by one. Looking at this chart though, you're going to see 0 to 5 in the y-axis, but there's a way to replace this with the actual branch names. To do that, just like what you see here in the finished version, we're going to add another series. I'm just gonna type branch here, and I'm going to highlight the branch names. Once we have all that, we can just click OK and go to chart design again and find change chart type. Go to the combo chart, and what we're gonna do here is to select line width markers one by one for the branch rows. Going to click secondary axis, and I'm going to explain what this does later on. But for now, we can go ahead and do this for all our rows. Okay, do that for all the branches except for the branch series that we just created. Because for this one, we're going to select the clustered bar chart. You can notice that it doesn't really contain any numbers, but we created this so that we can use it as a label for the branches. Since the primary axis is on the left side of Excel charts, we're not going to click secondary axis on this one. So it's going to be our primary axis because we want to display the branch names on the left side. Let's exit this, and once again we go back to the select data view. Since we want the charts to display the quarter, let's click on any of our branches and select the label range to the quarters. So it doesn't really matter if you select these ones or any of the quarters below, as long as you select the quarter cells. It's not going to show at this point yet, but don't worry, we're going to take care of that later. Next, go to the branch series and edit the axis labels. For this one, we're going to highlight the actual branch names. And yep, as soon as we did that, you can see that it already appeared on the left hand side. But then you can also observe that the branch names are reversed, meaning it doesn't follow the order that we set in the tables. And we're actually going to fix that right now. We press OK to exit. Then what we do is click on these branch names, and using the format tab and the format selection button, we're going to open the format axis panel. Here you will see a checkbox saying categories in reverse order. So let's go ahead and click that one in order to display the branch orders properly. In order to display the quarter axis labels, we have to go to chart design, add chart element, and in axis, we'll select secondary vertical. Okay, now we can see the quarter axis labels in the chart. After this, let's go ahead and delete everything that we don't need in the chart. We can do this by clicking on any chart element and pressing delete. Let's delete these axis values as well. Chart title, we don't need this right now, as well as secondary axis. That's the lines. Okay, it's looking clean right now, but of course, we have to transform this chart into a similar one that we have on the sample. By the way, sorry guys, I forgot to reverse the axis labels in this sample chart, but we're going to ignore that for now because we're able to do it properly. Okay, now let's click on any marker. I'm going to start with this one in NY. Then press Ctrl+1. Ctrl+1, by the way, is the shortcut to format and format selection. So if you don't want to go through that whole process, you can just click Ctrl+1. Okay, after this, Format Data Series panel has appeared on the right side. We'll go to Fill and Line. On the marker, let's go to Marker Options. Then for built-in, we're going to select a square and increase the marker size to size 10. For the fill, since this is a missed target based on the table, I'm going to use red color. Finally, for the borders, I don't want any borders, so click on no line. By the way, very important, remember guys that this is originally a line chart. So it's very important to go to the line tab and select no line. Just for reference, I'm going to show you what happens if we don't do this. For example, here in the NY branch, I'm going to decrease the value here so that it will miss the target. Once I do that, you can see that there's a line in between these markers. And this is because the charts we used are actually line charts that we're just tweaking. So we have to remove this line. Okay, I'm just gonna undo the modification I did. And let's go back to this one. No line. And here in the line tab, we have to select no line in order for the line to not show up when we're editing the data. Next, we're going to do something similar to the other lines. Again, very important, click on no line. In the marker options, built in, select the square and increase the size to 10. But since these markers are actually hit targets, I'm gonna color them green in the fill options. And finally, no line in the border. I'm going to repeat those series of steps for the rest of the markers. A square marker, size 10, and green for the hit targets with no border. For this one, again, it is very important. Don't forget to select no line. Built-in, square, size 10, and the red for the missed target. No border. This can get a bit tedious, especially if you have a lot of data points. But basically, we're just following the same process. There you have it, guys, our very own grid chart in Excel. A lot of formatting gymnastics went into this chart, but actually I think it's a good way to learn the formatting basics. Now you can put this chart to good use in your line of work, or maybe just brag about it to your coworkers. But either way, I hope you learned a lot from this video. See you next time.